Upon waking up, Su Xia suddenly realized that she had miraculously broken up with her good brother. At first glance, she realized that she had returned to 2023. From then on, there was an additional person in daily life who loved role-playing, and the character she played seemed to have truly emerged from the game, startling everyone's attention. In the game, she also has many titles such as Operation Queen and Professional Killer, making various skilled players cry and cry. Recalling the poor performance in the LPL division in the past 2 years, bad memories flooded her mind, and she had a bold idea. You said what a beautiful scene it would be if a girl not only became a professional athlete, but also won a world championship. Li Gu has 4 crowns. It doesn't matter, I will take action. P.S. This article is a transformation of a man into a woman, not just a professional article. The author does not have the ability and understanding to do so, so do not confuse the main and side lines. Important reminder, this article is about male frequency. Do you want the wife you drew in Chapter 1? You are listening at novelfull.audio. April 4, 2023. In a small rental room. Reading information. Information confirmed, name. Su Xia, gender. Female, age. 22 years old, currently owned role. 0. Looking at the few lines of text in front of her, Su Xia rubbed her beautiful eyebrows. What is this? Situation. Taking a glance at the unfamiliar surroundings, Su Xia was completely dumbfounded. She vaguely remembered drinking just 2 more glasses of wine and then falling asleep in a daze. But why, when I wake up, I go to a place I don't know? Kidnapping. Picking up corpses. A few bad words flashed through her mind. But not so much. Although she thinks she is somewhat handsome, she is 1.8 meters tall and has 8 abs. But there won't be anyone going to pick up a man's body, right? Are you trying to make it even harder? Thinking of this, Su Xia quickly checked her own situation. It doesn't matter at first glance. She lowered her head and realized that she couldn't see her toes. What is blocking my view? I haven't waited for her to delve into it yet, but upon further inspection, I found, sleeping trough, where's my brother? As she spoke, she quickly covered her mouth again, her face filled with disbelief. What was that crisp sound just now? Hello, hello. She let out 2 more unbelieving cries and found out that it was indeed coming from her own mouth. What situation is this? She glanced around and saw an isometric mirror in the room, then quickly ran over. Inside the mirror was a slender young girl, standing around 1.7 meters tall. Her delicate face was an indescribable beauty, and she didn't look like a real person. But she's not in the mood to appreciate it now. Mainly, the person standing in front of this mirror is herself. She saw an interview before, and the question was, what would you do if you became a girl? The boy being interviewed at the time replied, of course, thinking about his brothers first. But she never expected that this question would actually be implemented on herself. Do we really need to give our brothers a good time first? Let's just forget it. By the way, was there a strange voice speaking before, right at the beginning? Is it, system? She tried to shout out. I am here. That voice rang out again. Are you serious? Su Xia was surprised to find out that it was not a dream. So. What are you doing? Makeup and dressing up, then becoming stronger, speak in person. By accumulating popularity points for a lottery, completing designated tasks can earn rewards. In the current beginner period, a free lottery will be given once. Lottery. Su Xia frowned slightly, her words were a bit vague. She didn't say anything about the prize she drew or the definition of accumulating popularity. However, it's free anyway, no smoking, no smoking. Lottery. As her voice fell, a virtual, slot machine-like object emerged, and as the pattern on the screen rotated, the lottery began. Congratulations on winning the prize and winning the Void's daughter. Kasha looking at the familiar image in front of her, Su Xia was somewhat stunned. Isn't this my wife? Lottery to give to wife. What does this mean? Su Xia quickly asked. Literally, the system will provide exclusive makeup techniques and clothing for the character. During the conversation, a fully packaged set of clothing appeared next to her, along with an exquisite makeup box. At the moment she saw the makeup box, she seemed to know how to remove Kasha's makeup. She roughly understood the meaning of the system, which is to let herself play the extracted role. Cosplay. Surprisingly make oneself wear women's clothing. Ha. No, I seem to be a girl now. There should be no problem for girls to wear women's clothing, but she still feels that something is wrong. At this point, the sound of the system rang out again. Task trigger, roll tasks, 1. Start the live broadcast as Kasha, completion reward. 10 points of popularity, 2. Play Kasha and then play a game match with Kasha, except for human.machine games, completion reward. 20 points of popularity, victory will earn double the reward, limited to the first game, completing all character tasks will earn the hero's full-level proficiency. When using the hero, all attributes including movement, alignment, and reaction will be temporarily increased to 100, max. Milestone tasks, 1. Achieve the rank of King in Zone 1, reward. 100 points of popularity, 2. Reaching the top 10 rankings in Zone 1, reward. 100 points of popularity, 3. Rank first in Zone 1, reward. 100 points of popularity, 4. Sign a contract with any professional team, reward. 500 points of popularity. Note. For every 100 fans, you can increase your popularity by 1 point. The same person cannot be obtained repeatedly, i.e. cancel and follow, only counted once. For every 100 popularity points, a lottery can be conducted, and priority will be given to selecting characters or skins that have not been won. After carefully reading the system's explanation, Su Xia's desire to collect wool suddenly disappeared. Do you want to be so rigorous? Adding 1 point of popularity to 100 fans means you need to have 10,000 fans to participate in a lottery, which is too dark. Also, why do we specifically say to prioritize extracting characters that have not been obtained? Does this mean that we can still obtain duplicate characters? Hero fragments. Or skin fragments? A familiar feeling suddenly surged up. Finally, there are a series of milestone tasks. Take a look, what is the king of Zone 1 and the first in Zone 1? Is that something that a normal person can achieve? Not to mention becoming a professional athlete. She thinks she's a league expert, but these tasks are still too difficult. What? Are you talking about rank? There won't be a king either. More accurately, silver. Is there anything more valuable than eternal silver? What stands out is stability, neither rising nor falling. Let's take a closer look, and besides, the rewards for character tasks alone are incredibly rich. She also wants to see what the concept of full proficiency is. Fist to the peak and kick to the peak faker. Thinking of this, Su Xia showed a look of anticipation. Now, let's hurry up and do the character tasks first. Looking at the clothes and makeup boxes around her, Su Xia reluctantly got busy. After a moment, Kasha, the daughter of the void, officially appeared in the mirror. At first glance, it looks stunning. At second glance, is this a real person? It has to be said that the system's products are still trustworthy. If someone who doesn't know sees them, they will think that the characters in the alliance have escaped. Whether looking left or right, she couldn't find any flaws. Now, it's time to start live streaming. Chapter 2. Launch. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Just as Su Xia was preparing to start broadcasting, she roughly understood her own situation. Su Xia came out of the welfare institution. Normally, for a well-behaved child like her, there would be many people rushing to adopt her, but unfortunately, no one took her away. It was mainly due to her own reluctance to go with others. She lived a very frugal life, but her brain was very good. She quickly entered a key university with excellent grades, and then relied on work-study to barely complete her studies. Now, she is in the early stage of graduation and does not have a stable job. During her college years, she barely saved a little money and rented a room after coming out. Her room didn't have anything to represent a girl, it was just some simple daily necessities. The only valuable one is the desktop computer in front of the bed. It was my roommate who thought it was troublesome to move when I graduated and sold it to her at a low price, which was like picking up a loophole. The computer configuration is not low, anyway, opening a live broadcast is more than enough, and the equipment is relatively complete, which can be considered as saving a lot of trouble. Upon opening the computer, it appears that the desktop is relatively tidy, with only a few basic applications and not much extra content. It is worth mentioning that the original player also knows how to play games, and they happen to be playing League of Legends, just starting out in the industry. She saved the time for the game again, and everything seemed so smooth. After logging in based on the number in my memory, I fixed my eyes on Ioria. Surprisingly, it's still a one-area code. Good guy, the character is at level 30. It's just good enough to play qualifying. Let's check the record again, Man Jianghong. Among all the records, each game reached double digits, but this double digit was in the middle column. After reading her, she can only be described in 4 words, which is unbearable. Even a black iron can be killed more than 10 times, she is an old silver who cannot do it. She really wants to know what drove her to continue playing after being beaten like this, and among all her achievements, there was not a single one who hung up and ran away. Every game was played seriously. A typical dish that is both delicious and playful. She checked the collectibles section of her account and found that there were over 20 basic characters, none of which were Kasha she wanted. Fortunately, there was still a surplus of blue essence, so she could buy one. After proficiently purchasing Kasha, she began to think about live streaming again. The system does not require her to live stream on any platform, so she can freely choose. After some thought, Su Xia decided to choose the more familiar Tiger Shark platform. The steps to become a live streamer are quite simple. With a few clicks, she finished it, and when she saw the title screen, she typed in Kasha Benza online scoring. After finishing, the anchor officially started. As soon as the broadcast started, Su Xia turned on the camera in front of her, and regardless of whether anyone came, she directly clicked on the game and started playing. A few seconds later, with a click, the person had already been matched, and there were still many people in Zone 1. As soon as she entered the selection interface, it was gratifying to see that she had chosen an AD branch and had not taken any extra spots elsewhere. But before she could laugh, the auxiliary seat on the first floor locked onto the fireman in seconds, and her expression froze instantly. To be reasonable, in the lower ranks, it is somewhat abnormal to choose people like Huamen and little mages as assistants. Leaving aside whether they will cooperate or not, Su Xia's biggest expectation now is not to snatch her own soldiers. Can you imagine what it feels like to be an AD when an auxiliary brush compliments your soldiers? It can only be described as pain. Su Xia now has the idea of playing games in seconds, but as soon as she thinks of the task, she quickly asks silently. System, what are the conditions for using Kasha to win? Should I run away or use another hero? Regarding this, the system replied. Players are advised to take each game seriously. The moment you enter the game, it is already considered the first game. Not selecting the corresponding hero or running away will be considered a mission failure, and you will not receive rewards. Running away from others will not count. Upon hearing the cold response from the system, Su Xia's heart also cooled down. While others were selecting candidates, she kept praying that someone could take a second, but the game surprisingly started smoothly. When loading the game interface, Su Xia remained silent. She couldn't understand why whenever she wanted to have fun, someone kept playing the game, but when she didn't want to play, there wasn't a single person left. Is there any rule that doesn't follow? Just as she was furious, the game began, but when she saw the hot guy going out with the Dolan ring, she couldn't help but hit a question mark. Lying down to win doesn't count as winning, void woman. Can't auxiliary equipment be used? After her inquiry, Huanan did not respond to her and went online on his own, causing Su Xia to have a bad feeling. After the military line arrived, her premonition was indeed fulfilled. Without hesitation, the fireman's skills were thrown towards the rear soldiers. At first, she comforted herself by saying that they were helping to cushion the knife, but then the fireman had no intention of stopping. Okay, the prison sentence has begun. The down road is different from other roads. The down road takes 2v2, and the economic experience is for two people to eat together. However, when an assistant wants to monopolize the economy, the nightmare of AD begins. Although Su Xia's basic skills in repairing swords are quite good, due to the constant chaos of Huaman, she still missed out on many swords. The good news is that the repairing swords on the opposite side are not very good either. I didn't make it to the other side, so everyone is running on the same track, which is not considered a disadvantage, probably. Even as she patched up, she even managed to lead the other side with her knife. I don't know if the other side was furious, so she rushed up to fight her, and then she liked to double kill. She could also see that this kind of situation was really like a chicken pecking at each other, even a person in her silver rank could summon wind and rain. After she finished equipping herself and returned, it became increasingly difficult to hit the opponent's road. As she fought, she passed the level directly. 25 minutes later, the game ends. This game, apart from having a difficult start, has become easier and easier, so it can be considered a smooth completion of tasks. It has been almost half an hour since the broadcast started. After the game ended, she glanced at the interface of the live broadcast, which was really cleaner than the floor on the street, without any hair. A new anchor who wants to gain audience is not as simple as imagined. The way for fans to gain popularity is a long and arduous task. Task completed, reward 50 points of popularity, Kasha proficiency at full level. As the settlement interface fell, Su Xia felt that her mastery of the hero Kasha had reached a perfect level, no less than those skilled brothers in the canyon, and even better, as if she had become Kasha herself. Besides, there doesn't seem to be any more feelings. Chapter 3. Kasha. Go ahead and kill. You are listening at novelfull.audio. She didn't have a very intuitive feeling about Kasha's full proficiency. It is said that practice leads to true knowledge, but she decisively opened the game again. Throughout the day, she had been pushing for points, and I don't know if the system saw her pitifully. Surprisingly, each one was given an add position. Under her chaotic killing, before going to bed, her rank had already reached the golden fourth. The record page is uniformly green, and the handles are all MVP, making it terrifying to watch dozens of consecutive victories. Through continuous ranking, she could clearly feel what full proficiency is. Let's put it this way, in these dozens of rounds, all non-directional skills were avoided by her. If it weren't for not being allowed, she would have even wanted to hide from Ping A across from her. Just Kasha's small twisted waist, teammates are all asking questions. For full proficiency, she can only use exaggeration to describe it. If it weren't for the fact that she couldn't sustain herself in reality, she would even want to rush to the throne in one breath. At this moment it was already getting late, and she glanced at the still empty live streaming interface, realizing that there was really no one coming. Afterwards, she decisively turned off the live broadcast to search for food. After a simple dinner, she went to rest. After a whole day of operation, her hands were already sore, and the task of scoring was not urgent. Her body was the capital. Fortunately, makeup removal is easier than makeup, and it can be solved with just a few strokes. The next day when she woke up, it was already noon. As she didn't feel very hungry when she first woke up, she planned to rush for a while before finally getting gold. She hasn't tried the quality of the gold bureau yet. I don't know if my luck ran out yesterday, but today we just started the first game, so it was her turn to fill in and she was placed in the middle. Is it Kasha in the middle? Susya couldn't help but murmur, and immediately slapped her forehead. Why didn't I expect there to be a middle road Kasha? It wasn't until then that she suddenly realized that AP Kasha could play in professional leagues, let alone in passers-by games, and without the uncertain factor of support, wouldn't she be better off? Thinking that she had been battling wits and bravery with various assistants yesterday, she couldn't help but want to knock on herself. Unexpectedly, she didn't expect to find the way to the middle road, Kasha. However, it can also be seen from this that even if she has Kasha's full proficiency, it still depends on her own performance in matters such as diversion. When it was her turn to choose a hero, she decisively chose Kasha with a blade. Deadly Rhythm. What is that? I'm not familiar with it. Where does AD have AP happiness? As soon as she entered the game's loading interface, the uniformly colored platinum frame blinded her eyes. Good guy, everyone is platinum. She's the only one who is a little gold, and if she remembers correctly, she just added gold. Little gold mistakenly enters the platinum bureau. In the live broadcast room of a certain anchor, this scene also fell into the eyes of the other party. Wow, how come there's still gold, and it's still gold for? His tone was full of disbelief. He was already on the verge of diamonds, but he didn't expect someone who could still collide with gold. 8. Full name Vincent, is known as the #1 Draven in the national uniform. Those familiar with him know that in such a low-end situation, his method of exploding fish is extremely cruel. Sleek Draven with one hand, dominating the lower road directly. There are only two possibilities, one is to queue up with people, and the other is that the hidden score is too high. On the other hand, Xiao Hai, who was connected to the wheat with Vincent, analyzed. Hidden score. That's too high, it spans so many levels. Vincent was somewhat skeptical. Judging from this level difference, did the opponent win dozens of consecutive games? Are you joking? He originally wanted to check his record, but the game had already begun. At this point, he had dispelled his concerns and thought that Kasha was not against him either, so let it go. After all, he could easily get rid of the opponent with just a few cuts, so he didn't pay any attention. Vincent and Xiao Hai still obtained the combination of Draven and Hammerstone in this game. In his opinion, from the moment the game entered, it could already be announced that it was over. As soon as I went online, I started playing very aggressively on the down road, and then, after Draven Hammerstone grabbed the second level, I exploded with a burst of health. Under the divine hook of the small C, Draven Sheedy kills twice. What are you pretending to be? While mocking Vincent, he clicked on the name across from him and glanced at it, as if he was still a girl. Seeing this, he couldn't help but smile. As we all know, Draven loved to chop down his sisters in the canyon the most. As the road ahead was bustling with excitement, Su Xia couldn't help but take a screenshot, mainly because it was too fast. You should know that her Kasha is a late-stage hero, with little combat power in the early stages. It would be unbearable for her to be a hero like Draven who is very strong from the beginning of the first level. If she had to go to the line, she wouldn't be afraid. At best, she would be indecent for a while. As long as Draven didn't get his head, she could slowly turn pale later. But the problem is, it's not her who's at the bottom of this game. Watching Draven's head come in, her small face suddenly collapsed. Before she could do anything, there was another good news on the way. Her family's assistant, Yi, went to help catch them, but they were not killed on the way. Both of them clearly got their heads up and rushed directly to the opposite tower, completing a one death, one send-off mission. People sit in the middle of the road, and the bad news comes from all directions. She feels that her task in this game is a little heavy, and her teammates are not very awesome. And because of this failed arrest, Ueno started arguing directly. Now, except for the middle lane, all the lines are at a disadvantage. From the opposite side's perspective, this game has already won at least half by now. Regarding this, Kasha and the brilliance of the line have something to say. Guanghui originally thought that the person with the lowest rank on the opposite side was on his own path, and that he could play a satisfying game this time. However, starting from the first level online, he gradually realized that something was wrong. Due to Kasha's talent being a cluster blade, her ability to hit plasma will be faster, and in the early stages, Kasha's biggest source of damage may be plasma. After being pulled and hit twice in a row, Guanghui finally realized something was wrong, and every time he threw a skill, all of it was actually dodged. After a few attempts, Guanghui couldn't bear it anymore, so he began to shrink back and eat experience, even abandoning the economy of the military line. But even so, after Kasha reached level 2, the void soundfly came over. When he started middle school with 1 or 2 skills, he didn't think anything was wrong, but slowly he realized that this person's W wouldn't be empty. After being hit with residual health at level 4, the Radiance without medicine retreated to the second tower, intending to return to the city to replenish a wave and teleport it out. However, while he was still shopping, the screen suddenly turned gray. The Radiant man was all confused. Why did he wander around a store and leave him alone? He glanced at the killer. Kasha. Chapter 4. Crash Vincent. You are listening at novelfull.audio. When in blind sight, Kasha's void-sounding enemy directly sent Radiance and quickly returned to the city. The further back, the more the Radiance felt that something was wrong, especially after the evolution of the Kasha W skill. As long as it hit the enemy, the cooldown time would be reduced by 75%. After 2 rounds of searching for enemies in the void, the Radiance lost half of its health, and the Radiance was so scared that it shrank behind the minions. But this was of no use. As soon as the troops reached the line, they were dealt with by Kasha in a few strokes, and then they began to search for enemies in the void. After Guanghui was killed again in battle, he couldn't help it. Everyone, brilliant girl. Did Kasha drive across from her? The continuous search for enemies in the void has already broken his defense, and it is the first time he has seen such a precise skill in all his time playing the game, so there is also reason to suspect that Kasha has opened something. Sensing the emotional changes of his teammate in the middle, Vincent, who had just pushed down the second tower, couldn't help but cut the screen and take a look. In the situation where everyone on the opposite side was behind, Kasha still had a bounty on her body. Let's take a look at the record of both sides. Void Daughter, 3.0.0, Brilliant Girl, 0.3.0, Good Guy, I was single-killed 3 times and my level is still 3 levels behind. This is not being suppressed anymore, it's clearly being exploded. Is it so much pressure to hit gold? Vincent couldn't help but mutter. Kasha on the other side is up. Xiaohai, let's go get him some help. Just as Vincent finished replenishing his equipment from the spring, he couldn't help but greet him. Okay. Xiaohai responded, controlling Hammer Stone to follow closely behind. Guanghui saw a teammate in the middle and quickly went down the road to replenish his development, feeling relieved. After the two of them reached the middle road, Kasha immediately retreated, even if her ad didn't dare to match the fat Draven, let alone AP Kasha. Suxia clicked on her equipment and glanced at it. When she saw Draven wearing a 5-piece suit, she felt numb. She only had 3 pieces so far. Looking at my own family's down-road duo, each person has died 9 times, and I suddenly feel that everything is so reasonable. After clearing the line, Draven and Hammerstone found Kasha huddled behind them, so they disappeared from sight and seemed to have walked away. But suddenly, Su Xia felt a sense of crisis and quickly opened the E to accelerate. Just where she had left, a hook flew out, which was a hammer stone. He was thinking of Ian in the card view, but was caught off guard. Did you escape? Xiaohai was slightly surprised. When he came, he clearly opened the scan and scanned it once. There was no other person's field of view around him. Could it be luck? After the failure of the E-Man, the two of Draven Hammerstone returned to the line once again. After being thrown several Void Seekers by Kasha in a row, Draven only had half of his health left. This Kasha's W is a bit accurate. Do you have a chance? Vincent asked with some annoyance. Xiao Hai glanced at the flash that was about to improve and replied. I'll flash and I'll be ready soon. Let's just force it out. As he spoke, in the blink of an eye, Hammerstone caught a glimpse of Kasha's lifting motion and flashed a hook, which he believed was a sure hit. But with a flash of golden light, Kasha dodged. Kasha was originally throwing W, but now it has become a W flash, mainly because she dodged her skills, making this Void Seeker the only empty opponent in this game. Suxia was also startled, but fortunately her reaction was full. It should be said that she is truly a skilled Hammerstone. But this scene fell in the eyes of the opposite person, who was foolish. Can we all avoid this? Xiao Hai let out an incredible exclamation, and Vincent was also shocked. Wasn't Kasha throwing a W just now? Can this make her react? Not only were the two shocked, but even the netizens in Vincent's live broadcast room couldn't hold their breath. Isn't this Kasha driving? Can it all be reflected? Just now, I felt something was wrong. The hammer stone was clearly a blind eye hook, but could it be avoided? This person's ID is still called lying down to win. It's not considered a win. Of course, they can win by driving. That's really great. When my brothers reported it, I went to add him and confront him. I even opened something while playing a game. Netizens have expressed their opinions, and many of them have indeed searched for Su Xia's ID. Just as everyone was filled with righteous indignation, a final voice came over. Draven has been killed. Watching Kasha twist her hook and fly away from the body of Draven, everyone was stunned. What is the situation? How did the fattest Draven get killed? Just now, after reaching half health, Draven continued to push forward according to his habit. He was not afraid of Hammerstone by his side, but at that moment, Kasha's already healed void-sounding enemy flew over again. After applying 3 layers of plasma, Kasha flew over and instantly filled the plasma, killing Draven in an instant. Immediately after, Hammerstone continued to draw the hook and then became empty again. Hammerstone was also killed and the double kill was achieved. Wow! Is the damage so high? Vincent looked at the gray screen and couldn't help but scream. This person has a problem. I never hit the hook once. Xiao Hai couldn't help but agree. Not to mention being a passers-by game, even a professional player, Xiao Hai thinks he won't be empty like this, which is clearly unscientific. Suxia's jungle seems to have also discovered who the big dad is in the team. Since Kasha won the double kill, the jungle has been hovering around Kasha, achieving the effect of human vision and protection. With the formation of Kasha's equipment, the opponent can no longer bear it. Now, one of her Void Soul's enemies can defeat half of Crispy Skin's health, and it is still 100% hit. Who can bear it? After Draven was once again killed by 2 Void Sounders, his teammates began to charge forward with all their might, and the opponent completely hit GG. At the moment of the explosion at the base, Vincent was still staring at Kasha's page, and looking at the supernatural Kasha made him furious. Report it, report it. I can't stand it anymore. If I can't beat it, I'll just hang up. On the settlement page, several people across from each other coincidentally clicked on the report. After coming out, Su Xia was taken aback by dozens of requests to add friends. What is the situation? It's not uncommon to say that after playing a game, there are several people who add friends. Perhaps they want to hug their thighs, but dozens are too exaggerated. There are not so many people in a game. It's obvious that her game ID has been exposed. But what she couldn't understand was what she had done and why so many people came to add her. Just as she was hesitating whether to pass, she suddenly received an invitation to form a team. Glancing at the ID, it was Hammer Stone across from the previous game. What did he invite him to do? Is it because I feel dizzy and want to curse at myself? Not so bad, he mainly killed Draven. After all, crispy skin is easier to kill. Chapter 5. Invitations from Small Seas. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Just now, Vincent suddenly wanted to use the restroom, so he asked Xiao Hai to start a game on his own. Originally planning to play a single game, Xiao Hai suddenly saw the ID of Kasha across from the previous game, so he clicked on the invitation by a stroke of luck. After clicking it, he finally realized. What are you doing with someone who is cheating on your own? Just as he was still regretting, the public screen suddenly displayed lying down and winning doesn't count as joining the chat. Suxia came in, and since her settings are all default, she automatically joined the team voice as soon as she came in. Hello, can you hear me? Suxia took the initiative to say hello. When she first saw Hammer Stone's invitation, she had planned to refuse it, but in the blink of an eye, she thought of her teammates in the previous game. If all her teammates were doing this, how could she bear it? Thinking that Hammerstone should have played well in the previous game, otherwise it wouldn't have blown the bottom line. If we team up and score, it might be faster, so we accepted the invitation. After seeing Su Xia's good intentions come in, Xiao Hai originally intended to say a few words, but Su Xia's clear and girlish voice stunned him for a moment. Female. Xiao Hai people are foolish. They originally thought that it would be some strong guys who cheat, but they didn't expect that girls would still cheat. Isn't it like a girl calling her brother just a few times and a bunch of people rushing to get points, and still needing to cheat? Due to being directly connected to Vincent, Xiaohai's game microphone was not turned on and could only hear Su Xia's voice. But when Su Xia didn't receive a response after greeting, she hesitated for a moment. Didn't she pull herself in from across the street? Why hasn't there been any movement now? She thought there was no microphone across from her, so she typed again. Hello, are you driving? After seeing the message sent on the public screen, the child hesitated for a moment before replying. Come on. As he spoke, he clicked on the match. After a moment, the two entered the hero selection interface and looked at Kasha's avatar on the screen. Xiao Hai hesitated for a moment, but still did not choose to disable it. Suxia still walked in the middle of this game, but spoke up when she got off the road. The seat that has been filled won't be empty, who can change it? Watching the words spoken by the person who was about to partner with him, Xiao Hai couldn't help but frown. Why do people choose to fill in when they don't know AD? Do these people not understand the meaning of filling in? I'll do it. Su Xia glanced at it and replied. Although she leans more towards Kasha who follows the AP flow, since her teammates specialize in playing auxiliary positions, perhaps walking together would be more appropriate. So she chose to exchange positions with the next one. Xiao Hai didn't say much when he saw this scene, but he was a little curious. He was thinking that Kasha in the AP stream focuses on skill hit rate. If this person opens a cheat similar to a lock, what should the AD stream do? AD is going to level A, and the skill damage is more just auxiliary. How should Kasha deal with this game? Or, does she choose to come down and continue walking AP? Suxia didn't think too much about it. Kasha locked it in seconds. You know, she's an AD runner, and it won't be difficult for her. Xiao Hai also locked the hammer stone in seconds. The pressure is on the opposite side, starting from the first level matchup. The two-person group on the opposite sides down road is under a lot of pressure, and Xiao Hai's hammer stone constantly puts pressure forward. I originally thought it would be okay to give it a try, but they obviously underestimated the cruelty of Kasha and Hammerstone. Xiao Hai instinctively put pressure on the other side and rightfully treated his AD as Vincent. At the moment he flashed the hook, he immediately regretted it. Based on feedback from his past teammates, they really didn't choose to rush up and fight. But just as he continued his silky little combo, Kasha picked up the lantern in seconds and began to output close to her face. When the opponent realized something was wrong and wanted to run, it was already too late. Two people from across the street joined hands to return home. Susha had to admit that with a strong support, AD would really develop faster, leading the two-piece set in less than 20 minutes, followed by a dimensionality reduction blow. A game quickly ended with the surrender of the opponent, and it was not until the explosion of the small C at the opposite base that I was still feeling satisfied. Not only Kasha, but also his Hammerstone was very comfortable to play in this game. He didn't have to worry much about AD dying suddenly in the overall situation. Every time the opponent tried to catch someone in the wild, Kasha would issue a warning in advance. Alternatively, it could simply be a void-seeking enemy to mark the jungle. Unconsciously, Kasha commanded him the whole game through continuous signals. If it weren't for cheating, this consciousness would have been too good. Moreover, looking at the whole game, besides Kasha's accuracy, her movements were also incredibly smooth. He couldn't help but wonder if there were any cheats that could achieve this level. After playing a game, Susha felt a bit hungry and sent a message. "Let's go eat first, let's play when we have time." Seeing that Susha was ready, Xiaohai asked in a strange way. "Are you still playing this afternoon?" After observing the message sent by the other party, Susha fell silent for a moment and replied. "If you have nothing to do, you should be able to call. You can come to my live broadcast room to take a look. If it doesn't start broadcasting, something else will happen. Are you the anchor?" Upon hearing this, Xiaohai was taken aback. "Will the anchor also cheat? Just started broadcasting." Susha didn't hide anything, as a public broadcaster like her doesn't need to cover up. Moreover, it would be a good thing if she could increase her fans through this method. After sending the live streaming platform and room number to the other party, Susha turned around and went offline to eat. After receiving the room number sent, Xiaohai immediately opened Tiger Shark and searched for it. Soon, he found Susha's live broadcast room. Looking at the anchor with 0 followers and recalling what the other person said earlier, he is almost 100% sure to be true. I didn't expect him to be a new anchor. Just as he was planning to take some time in the afternoon to come in and take a look, he suddenly discovered the replay of Susha's live broadcast yesterday. On the Tiger Shark platform, every anchor defaults to a live broadcast replay, even newcomers are no exception, unless they voluntarily close it, but Susha is not very familiar with this. Seeing the live broadcast replay lasting more than 10 hours, Xiaohai was surprised. Are all the newcomers so brave these days? As soon as the replay was opened, familiar characters appeared in view. When he saw Kasha, played by Susha, appearing on the screen, he was completely stunned. Is this a projection? He didn't immediately associate the option of a real person, mainly because the people on the screen were too real, just like Kasha running out of a canyon. Due to the existence of live streaming replay, Xiaohai clearly saw Kasha's first perspective, and the more he looked, the more he felt amazed. Although the opponent was playing low-end games and could not play low-end games, the operation was still full throughout. A thought couldn't help but come to his mind. Is there really someone who can continuously operate without deformation? Suddenly, the phone rang. Caller, Vincent. Chapter 6. Hidden Tasks. You are listening at novelfull.audio. As soon as Vincent answered the phone, he immediately complained. Xiaohai, what are you doing? I didn't reply even when I messaged you. Upon hearing Vincent's words, Xiaohai noticed that the other party had sent many messages, but he had been watching the live broadcast replay just now, so he didn't notice. It's nothing, I watched the video for a while. Xiaohai casually said. What kind of video is so beautiful? Show it to me too. It's nothing, just play games. As he spoke, he clicked into the room and sent an invitation. Vincent didn't think much about it and immediately entered the game's state. On the other hand, Su Xia, who had originally planned to continue scoring, suddenly received a message from the system. Trigger character hidden task, play Kasha and go out normally for 1 hour, task reward. 50 points of popularity. Note that hidden tasks have uncertainty and the task duration is only 24 hours. Missed tasks will never be triggered again, please cherish them carefully. When Su Xia first received the system message, she was still eating. As soon as she saw that there were 50 points of popularity to take, the pig's feet rice in her hand immediately became less fragrant. I currently have 50 popularity points in my hand. If I do this hidden task again, won't I be able to draw a lottery? She truly experienced the benefits of 100% proficiency, and if there were a few more heroes by her side, she wouldn't be afraid of being targeted. At present, the low-end situation may not be very obvious, but when it comes to higher ranks, there is a high probability that heroes like Kasha will be banned. She had originally thought there would be no more opportunities for role-playing. After all, the tasks had been completed. Unexpectedly, the thick eyebrows and big eyes system had hidden tasks, and she didn't even know about it, or even the triggering conditions. Is it normal to go out? Su Xia thought for a moment and guessed that the system might be afraid of using excuses like using the restroom, so she hid outside for an hour, so she specifically mentioned it. The general idea is to make her feel like she usually goes out, just changing into a different outfit. Once born and twice cooked, Su Xia skillfully changed into Kasha's attire, and now she is becoming more and more proficient in playing. After everything was ready, she turned around and went out. Coincidentally, there was something missing at home, and she planned to go to the supermarket to buy some. Her rental house here is located in an old residential area, and the biggest inconvenience for her may be that there is no elevator. Fortunately her home is not high. Just 5 floors, sprinkle water. The nearest supermarket to the community is only a few hundred meters away, and Su Xia has no intention of summoning transportation. Moreover, when she thinks of the scene of Kasha riding a shared bike, she feels a bit conflicted. Shouldn't Kasha be flying? Along the way, many people cast their gaze, and many even took out their phones to take pictures. Although she kept telling herself that it was nothing, facing the gaze of passers-by, she still felt awkward and couldn't help but quicken her pace. Just as Su Xia finally arrived at the supermarket, she thought she could breathe a sigh of relief, but before she could enter, a voice came from behind. "Hello little sister, can we take a photo together?" The speaker was a man wearing glasses who looked at him with a gentle demeanor. He gestured with his phone. "Ah. Okay." Su Xia hesitated for a moment, but still did not refuse. "Just take a photo, it won't take much trouble." After the group photo was completed, Su Xia smoothly entered the supermarket. The boy looked at the group photo on his phone and immediately posted it on his social media. Encountered a wild Kasha on the road. Not long after the content was posted, many friends immediately replied and forwarded it. "I'll go, isn't it really a batch drawing? How could it be so similar? It's obvious not. Didn't you see that the person next to you is still so ugly? No, why would someone like you who is playing on the road encounter such a good thing? Kasha chef is here. Address. Send the address immediately. By the way, those who understand the situation should quickly post their positions. It's reasonable for me to go to the wilderness alone to catch AD." Seeing the envious reply from his friend, the boy couldn't help but show a proud smile on his face. The city esports major where Su Xia is currently located is extremely famous, and many students have applied for this major, especially male students who already love playing games. There is a university just a few kilometers away from here. This boy is one of the countless players with esports dreams, and he particularly likes League of Legends. So, after seeing Kasha, he rushed up without saying a word to take a group photo. Su Xia didn't even know that she had been uploaded online. She was picking and choosing in the supermarket, and in order to save some money, she compared different brands of goods one after another. Since graduating, she has not yet had a stable source of income and can only live on the little money she has saved up from college, so some savings can be made. However, even so, the only funds on my body are almost bottoming out. It seems that I still need to hurry up and make money. At the moment she came out of the supermarket, a prompt came from the system. Congratulations on completing the hidden task, reward 50 points of popularity points. Is this only an hour? Susha didn't expect shopping to be so time-consuming. It seemed like she didn't need to wander outside, so she immediately ran home and didn't even bother with the lottery for the time being. So passers-by saw a very strange scene, a girl dressed in strange clothes, carrying a package of things in her hand, and running wildly on the road with long legs. After spending some time, Susha finally returned to the cozy cabin. After taking a breath, she finally looked towards the lottery interface. At this point, the popularity value was just enough to reach 100, and after confirming that the lottery was possible, she immediately clicked on it. As the familiar image appears, the image begins to rotate. After a moment. Congratulations on winning the prize. Received the Star Guardian. Kasha, reaction speed +5, as the lottery ended, the system continued to remain silent, with no further tasks or other follow-up. Susha, who was already prepared to welcome the new hero, was dumbfounded to see the result. In her opinion, it doesn't matter whether the skin looks good or not, but she always feels like it's a loss. If it's a hero, not only will there be related character tasks, but also the hero's 100% proficiency. And what about the skin, just to look good? What does this reaction speed mean? Susha had some doubts about the final reaction speed of the skin and couldn't help but ask. This attribute is similar to hero proficiency, but not limited to a specific hero. Speaking, it also released Susha's data. Name. Susha, alignment ability. 40, team battle ability. 30, reaction speed. 50, +5, operational awareness. 40, comprehensive evaluation. Ordinary passers-by are truly worthy of the silver that has been around for thousands of years. Seeing the evaluation given by the system, it can only be said that it is too heartwarming. Do you really have that kind of dish yourself? Chapter 7. Water Friends Competition. You are listening at novelfull.audio. In my own data, the highest is actually reaction speed, but even with the addition of lottery rewards, it still only reaches 50, which is too ordinary no matter how it looks. It seems that obtaining permanent attributes in the lottery is still very good. Although it did not take a step to the sky, if stacked bit by bit, she can still achieve the level of a top player. Forget it, take your time. Glancing at the new clothes that appeared again, she had no intention of trying them out. Anyway, she didn't have any tasks at her disposal. She was just at home and just casually dressed up. Even if these clothes look good, they cannot deny the fact that they are not comfortable to wear regularly. After changing Kasha's clothes, Susha opened the live broadcast again, ready to start her journey to the top. Since there was no task at hand, she simply turned off the camera and planned to quietly become a scoring maniac. On the other side of the Tiger Shark platform, Vincent and Xiaohai are building a room. This afternoon, Vincent and Xiaohai were originally planning to continue bombing fish at the Platinum and Diamond Bureau, but I don't know what happened. Xiaohai's hammer stone, which was one of the 10 hooks in the game, repeatedly missed the hook, causing the two of them to almost capsize. Vincent noticed that Xiaohai was not in the right state, so he planned to have a water-friendly game to relax and entertain himself. After all 8 water enthusiasts entered the room, Vincent was about to start when Little Hai immediately shouted. Wait a minute. When he ranked in the afternoon, almost every time he had free time, he would click into a certain live broadcast room to take a look, but unfortunately, the live broadcast room never opened, and his friends in the game were also dark, proving that he was not online. But just now, the long-awaited avatar unexpectedly lit up. Xiao Hai quickly cut the screen and took a look. Sure enough, the other party started broadcasting, but they didn't turn on the camera. He was still slightly disappointed. As soon as Su Xia went online, she also saw the news that Hammer Stone was forming a team last time, so she sent him a message. Do you want to fight? 2. Xiao Hai had just typed a word, but before he could send it out, he quickly deleted it. Vincent had to leave for some reason before, but now he's still here. If he just ran to double row with others like this, wouldn't it be too good? After hesitating for a moment, Xiao Hai replied. Later, I'm playing a water-friendly competition now. Do you want to join me? Water-friendly competition. Su Xia was taken aback and asked, which anchor is it from? Xiao Hai thought for a moment and sent it, Vincent, do you know anyone on the same platform as you? Draven. Yes. Su Xia laughed when she saw Vincent's water-friendly match. She had long wanted to try what it felt like to play against the top players. Of course, she didn't know that Vincent had already been arrested once last time. Pull me. Upon seeing the news from Su Xia, Xiao Hai immediately became excited. Xiao Hai, what are you doing? Are you still fighting or not? Vincent heard Xiao Hai ask to wait for a moment, but he hesitated to say anything, feeling a bit inexplicable. 8. Make room and I'll make a friend. Who is it? Master. Upon hearing Xiao Hai's words, Vincent didn't say much. He apologized and casually selected a lucky audience member to invite them out of the room. Seeing a vacant spot, Xiao Hai immediately sent an invitation. Lying down to win doesn't count as winning. Join the room. Vincent was startled when he saw the name of the person coming. Isn't this the cheat Kasha from last time? You pulled it. The last game against Su Xia was the only game he and Xiao Hai lost in this fish bombing, so the impression was quite profound. But he was curious why Xiao Hai had that person's friend. Hello, hello. As soon as she entered the room, Su Xia greeted her as usual, and the audience in the live broadcast room who had not yet started to criticize immediately deleted the already typed text. It's a little sister. Art, I admit I'm your fan, but you can't say anything nonsense. If you play well, you'll just hang up. I just said that Hai Dafu hasn't been in a state all afternoon. It turns out that his soul has been hooked. The wind in the live broadcast room suddenly shifted and everyone began to criticize Vincent. Before Vincent could explain to the netizens in the live broadcast room, he saw Xiao Hai in the room and his team, and suddenly switched to the opposite side. Vincent. Xiao Hai, what are you doing? Vincent asked. The Water Friends Bureau only has the highest rank for the two of us. If we were in the same team, wouldn't we bully the other team? So it's better to each lead a team. Xiao Hai Yoshimasa answered sternly. Upon hearing his words, Vincent thought for a moment and felt it made sense, but he didn't continue to dwell on it, so he clicked on the game. But there is another issue that has been lingering in his mind. After some thought, Vincent decided to send a private message to Xiao Hai. Xiao Hai, how could you have Kasha's friend? Vincent had already guessed a rough idea at this point. Since Xiao Hai chose to bring in Kasha, it was highly likely that the other party had not cheated, otherwise Xiao Hai would not have added her as a friend and planned to play with her. However, when he thought of Kasha's 100% hit of the void-sounding enemy last time, he couldn't help but shudder. What Draven was most afraid of were the heroes who could kill you without touching your face. I just wanted to see if Kasha was really that powerful, so I added friends. So what? It's really impressive, both AD and AP are very skilled. Why are you so skilled? Have you known each other for a long time? No, I just got to know her recently, but I watched her live broadcast replay and she's also a live streamer, and she's on the same platform as you. Is it really fake? Give me a push, I know each other. As Xiao Hai sent the room number, Vincent went in and took a look. The live broadcast room was filled with a game he was playing with. Surprisingly, he is really a new anchor. Vincent frowned slightly. He knew very well that League of Legends was different from other games, and it was too obvious to just play it. Especially as a broadcaster, I never say a word with a hammer. It seems like I've really encountered a master, but I don't know if Kasha is just as strong as herself or if she belongs to the category of skilled guys. Ted, it's your turn to choose a hero. Someone inside the team shouted. Upon hearing this, Vincent didn't continue to think much and quickly switched back to the game, followed by skillfully locking Draven in seconds. But after finishing the selection, he remembered that Xiao Hai was no longer his teammate in this game. However, after seeing that Xiao Hai's hammer stone had been banned, he breathed a slight sigh of relief. Te Gu. Pai Gu, without Xiao Hai, I am your brother. He even smiled in a half-joking tone and said. But when he saw the Kashaga robot on the opposite side of the road, he had a bad feeling in his heart. Most importantly, the person who controlled Kashaga was still the one from last time. Shouldn't it be so evil? You can still snipe me when we're all at the ad position. After a little thought, Vincent settled down a little dim sum. Chapter 8. Soaring to the Sky. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The subsequent results also confirmed his hypothesis, and in the end, Vincent had the upper hand and won the game. Surprisingly, this game was not a situation where the downturns opened up, but rather where other teams gained an advantage, and their downturns were tormented by robots and Kasha. Until the end of the game, the two players on the way down were still in a negative record, even though their teammates on the other side were already fat. In the final wave, Kasha still flew into the crowd and instantly took Draven away. After playing this water-friendly game, Vincent almost broke through the defense, while Xiao Hai was very happy to play. As soon as he hit the microphone, he started laughing and laughing. Art, I see why the camera in your live broadcast room is black. Without saying anything, it shouldn't be red warm, right? Damn it, didn't you just take a hero who restrained me? Don't be so arrogant. The relationship between the two was very good. Vincent just laughed and cursed, and then the camera turned on again. After talking to Xiao Hai for a few words, his mood finally improved, but when he saw the idea of lying down and winning, he suddenly felt a bit jaded again. By the end of the game, he had to admit that the opposing Kasha was really impressive. At least he had never encountered such a strong Kasha so far, and his ability to pull and find opportunities was at the top level. As soon as Vincent thought about the identity of the other anchor, his eyes rolled and he came up with a good idea. Kasha, I heard you're also a broadcaster. Since you lost, shouldn't there be some punishment? Vincent originally wanted to take the opportunity to recover some space, but the response from the other side left him dumbfounded. Okay. Suxia agreed almost without hesitation. She agreed to come in and play water-friendly matches with Vincent this time, not only to see the value of 100% proficiency, but also to take advantage of the popularity of Vincent as a big anchor. Although she won against Vincent in the match and performed exceptionally well in the team battle, if she couldn't resist, she would lose, and in the end, she felt embarrassed to speak up about herself. But what she didn't expect was that Vincent took the initiative to bring up this matter. It really took no effort and saved himself from promoting it. Little sister, you can't be lazy. Don't just play around like singing, brothers. Everyone is tired of it. Vincent remained steadfast in his words. But that's what Su Xia is most afraid of. Then let me change into Kasha's clothes. I'll send out the room number first. Everyone, wait for me for 10 minutes, and I'll go change clothes. After posting the room number for the live broadcast, Su Xia withdrew from the team room. At the moment he saw the room number, Vincent felt like he had been fooled. He always felt that the other party had already planned. Was it an illusion? Not only that, when Su Xia said she wanted to play Kasha, the live broadcast room also exploded. Vincent, my Superman. Art really doesn't treat his brothers as outsiders. He thinks of his brothers as soon as he has benefits. Brothers, hold on, I'll go investigate the situation first. Count me in. As barrage after barrage drifted by, the number of people in the live broadcast room continued to decrease. It was obvious that everyone was attracted to Su Xia's side. However, in addition to fans who joke and play around, there are also some who say they are not optimistic and are crazily pacing in the live broadcast room. What kind of cat and dog are also paired with Kasha? Does she have the ability? The current anchor really doesn't have any bottom line. As a Kasha chef, don't mess around and make me sick, okay? Just as a group of people were not optimistic, netizens on the front line sent a battle report. Report. We have completed the preliminary investigation and she is a very beautiful little sister. By the way, miss, when she first started broadcasting, she cost Kasha, which was very elegant, as evidenced by the live broadcast replay. As the frontline scouts reported, the popularity of the live broadcast room once again plummeted, and Vincent couldn't help but twitch his lips. Is it so beautiful? Vincent is a bit skeptical. He didn't have time to watch the live broadcast replay last time, so he still doesn't know what Su Xia looks like. However, according to normal circumstances, people who play games well usually don't look too good, especially with the buff of having a pleasant sound. Isn't it more appropriate for people to be more ordinary? As is well known, if God closes a door for you, he will open a window for you. You cannot have both fish and bear's paw. In the end, Vincent couldn't help but be curious and clicked into Su Xia's live broadcast room. The dark live broadcast room had already reached 120,000 people, but the fans were very few, which seemed a bit out of place. He clicked into the homepage and took a look, and indeed saw the replay of the first live broadcast. Before he could even check the authenticity, the live broadcast room had already lit up. Su Xia had already changed into the attire of Star Guardian Kasha and turned on the camera. At the moment she appeared in the live broadcast room, the densely packed barrage of playful comments paused for a moment, followed by another screen swipe. Sleeping slot. Look at how scared this guy is, he's talking backwards. My Kasha ran out of the canyon. What's yours? Mine. Sorry everyone, my wife has made a fool of herself. Wife. The barrage kept scrolling across the screen, GIFs of all sizes flew non-stop, and the live broadcast room experienced lag. Vincent rewards Super Rocket x1, Hai Dafu rewards Super Rocket x1, Vincent and Xiao Hai were also shocked by Su Xia's peerless appearance. They didn't look like real people at all, but when they regained their senses, they quickly became extremely angry. A Super Rocket costs 2,000 yuan, which is the most valuable gift on the Tiger Shark platform, and it also comes with a full platform broadcast effect. Under the promotion of Vincent and Xiao Hai, the popularity of the live broadcast room continues to rise, and the system constantly sends prompts. Congratulations on reaching 10,000 followers, which can be exchanged for 100 popularity points. Congratulations on reaching 20,000 followers, which can be exchanged for 200 popularity points. Congratulations on reaching 100,000 followers, which can be exchanged for 1,000 popularity points. A live broadcast that garners 100,000 fans is a terrifying statistic, let alone a new anchor without a strong foundation of popularity. Sure enough, Lao Se Pai is the main force of the internet. Who can refuse a girl with a beautiful voice and stunning appearance? There was also a hint of joy in Su Xia's eyes. Unexpectedly, it was lukewarm at the beginning, but when it caught fire, the car couldn't stop and took off in place. It seems that the decision to ride the heat is the right one. No wonder there are so many anchors in my impression who like to ride the heat, and she is still very restrained and not talking nonsense just to ride the heat. She also generously thanked the two people who brought her warmth. Thank you, Higo and Tego, and thank you all for the gifts. As soon as Su Xia's pleasant voice came out, the gift began to flash on the screen again, and she felt dizzy just by looking at it. Chapter 9. Emperors of Europe. You are listening at novelfull.audio. P.S. This chapter will contain a large number of winning introductions, not just a few words. If you don't explain clearly, you won't know which heroes and skins have been won. This is very important. If you don't like it, you can sweep it through without affecting the reading. With the increasing popularity of live streaming rooms, more and more people are coming to the rooms, and the retention rate is still very high. But as the number of people increased, the live broadcast rooms also began to become chaotic, with rhythmic and film sellers emerging one after another. As she had not set up a property management system and had not signed a contract with the platform, there would be no super management to help, so she was a bit at a loss. In the end, Su Xia couldn't resist and chose to go live. As the live broadcast room went black, this live broadcast officially came to an end. The two main characters who brought popularity to Su Xia, Vincent, after all, had a family and quit playing games shortly after watching. However, Xiao Hai said he was hungry and wanted to eat something, so he asked Vincent to go solo. However, seeing that Xiao Hai was not returning for a long time, Vincent couldn't help but drip on him. Xiao Hai finally went online. I didn't expect Xiao Hai to go live so quickly this time. He used his phone to click into Su Xia's live broadcast room and took a look, and it was indeed downloaded. No, you've been eating this meal for a while. You've been eating it for over an hour, haven't you? Ah, isn't it normal to eat slowly? Is it really normal? Really, Vincent thought for a moment but didn't continue to ask, and the two continued their happy journey of fishing. On the other hand, Su Xia quickly changed Kasha's clothes after the broadcast. She didn't make it to the minute this afternoon, but she felt satisfied. After checking the gains in the afternoon, she received a gift for the live broadcast. After dividing it in half with the platform, she could still receive a commission of over 4,000 yuan, which means she received about 800 to 900 yuan in gifts for this live broadcast. Apart from the 4,000 yuan reward given by the two protagonists, the gifts that others have repeatedly brushed up are actually 4 or 5,000 yuan. The strength of this generation of netizens is also too frightening. However, although these few thousand yuan were not a big deal for her, they were just appetizers. She quickly glanced at the systematic gains. Congratulations on reaching 150,000 followers, which can be exchanged for 1,500 popularity points. This is the final prompt from the system, which means she can now participate in 15 lucky draws. This happiness came too suddenly. Lottery. Lottery. Su Xia quickly rubbed her small hands and greeted. Congratulations on winning, Blade Dancer. Aurelia, congratulations on winning the prize, obtaining the wings of the clouds. Aurelia, with a lineup ability of +5, congratulations on winning the Jade Sword Legend. Dancing Sword Immortal, with a lineup ability of +5, congratulations on winning the Bullet Screen Angel. Kasha, reaction speed +5, congratulations on winning the prize, winning the Unmatched Sword Concubine. Fiona. Congratulations on winning the Jade Sword Legend. Unmatched, with a matchmaking ability of +5, congratulations on winning the prize and receiving the Future Warrior. Fiona, with a matchup ability of +5, congratulations on winning the prize and winning the Niu. Xia Award, congratulations on winning the Star Guardian. Xia, Team Combat ability +5, congratulations on winning the prize, winning the Divine Phoenix Walker. Flame Phoenix. Xia, with Team Combat ability +5, congratulations on winning the Ling Luo doll. Gwen, congratulations on winning the coffee dessert. Gwen, operational awareness +5, congratulations on winning the prize and receiving the distant Thor. Akali, congratulations on winning the prize, winning Da. Akali, operational awareness +5, congratulations on winning the ultimate KDA. Akali, with a +5 operational awareness. A series of winning news dazzled Su Xia, but after sorting out the chaotic information, she suddenly felt a little incredulous. It's not that I'm not satisfied with the lottery results, but rather that it's too European and I can't believe it. In the game, there are only 3 limited skins, and the quality of the other skins is also very good. Suddenly, Su Xia was overjoyed to have gained 5 brand new heroes. If she had mastered all the 100% proficiency of these heroes, she had a premonition that she would already have the level to play a profession. It's unlikely that all 5 moves will ban her heroes by then. However, there are also drawbacks. Even if she maximizes the proficiency of these heroes, the chaotic branching may affect the overall performance of the team. League of Legends is a team game, and after losing against Vincent, she deeply understands that even if a person's strength is strong and their teammates cannot stand up, they will inevitably lose in the end. At the end of the day, it's still not enough hero reserves. If there are several heroes on each path, then you won't be so afraid of targeting them. There aren't many heroes yet, so it's useless to think about them. The top priority is to quickly improve the proficiency of these heroes that have already been acquired. If you miss them, you'll regret it to death. She roughly looked at these character tasks and found that they were similar to last time, all of which required wearing the hero's clothing for live streaming, and then playing a match. There are several difficulties. 1. There is too much uncertainty in randomly matched matches, and with a hero who is not fully proficient, she cannot guarantee that she will win 100%. 2. She still doesn't know what the definition of this random match is. Can she set her own rank, and if she can directly open a small account to play the Black Iron game, she will have a greater chance. 3. Does this random matching mechanism allow for pulling people together? If you team up with a few experts, winning the game is not easy. Coincidentally, she knows Vincent and Xiaohai, who specialize in playing explosive fish games. At this point, the system seemed to hear her thoughts and immediately gave a response. The account for completing tasks is limited to large accounts and cannot be used as a small account. It is also prohibited to deliberately lower the rank or limit the number of team members. When Su Xia first saw the system's response, she was a bit disappointed, but when she saw the last sentence, she immediately became happy. Although the system has some limitations, she needs to give the system a big thumbs up just because it can attract people to form teams. In the future, anyone who dares to say that my system brother is inhumane will slap me when I jump up. She has already planned it. When she wakes up tomorrow, she will go ask Vincent and Xiaohai when they have time and play a few matches together. This request should not be rejected. After thinking about everything, Su Xia fell asleep beautifully. And just as she was satisfied with her dream of Duke Zhou, the news and articles about her live broadcast were rapidly spreading outside, and the marketing account would not miss the opportunity to attract traffic. Since she didn't score wildly yesterday, her mental state was still good and she had already woken up early in the morning. After staring at the ceiling for a few minutes, she picked up her phone and sent a message to each of them, then got up and went to wash up. After finishing her grooming, she came back to take a look, and neither of them had replied yet. It seemed that she had not woken up yet. She is not in a hurry either. She went to the training camp to familiarize herself with a few heroes before going online, and became very popular. Chapter 10. Rhythm of Public Opinion. You are listening at novelfull.audio. #shocked. Tiger Shark platform surprises the most beautiful Kasha. ## The most beautiful Kasha raises doubts about whether it is beauty or criticism that raises deep thoughts. ## Vincent collided with Golden Kasha and bluntly stated that the other party was driving. ## directing, Kasha's room number. Tiger Shark platform 3141596, ID, Soda Summer. Regarding the hot topics of yesterday's live broadcast, one after another emerged, and it is unknown how many headlines there were. However, even if some editors take it out of context, it is undeniable that Su Xia's popularity has once again been pushed up to a higher level. They are all self-media who ride on traffic and are very clear about what the audience likes to see, so almost every article will include photos of Su Xia playing Kasha. There are also various types of people in the comments, and there are naturally those who praise and those who curse. Fake at first glance, how could anyone be so beautiful? There is no other possibility besides the approval of the drawings. Fake your mother. Yesterday I was in the live broadcast room, and they were also like this in the live broadcast room. There's a navy now, point the way, everyone has money to earn together. What's the point of winning by cheating in the league? As soon as you open the room, you'll reveal your true colors. Even with Xiaohai's assistance, you've lost. I don't understand why such anchors are watched by anyone. I haven't even seen a woman, have I? Don't donate your eyes anymore. Isn't losing a teammate's problem. Boiling lamb. Boiling lamb. Suxia, who has been soaking in the training camp, has no idea that the outside rhythm has already flown, and she is still exploring the gameplay of these heroes she has obtained. How to put it, it's not that she doesn't know how to play. She can smoothly complete various skills and releases, but when the two are combined, she becomes a bit messy, which is just the result of the human machine. It seems that the system allows oneself to pull people after careful consideration. If one really uses their limited proficiency to play real-person matches, whether they can win the match is a question. At around 11 o'clock in the morning, she roughly figured out the gameplay of these heroes, and at least now she can ensure that there is no problem mixing, leaving the rest to her teammates. She has decided to change the name of her game whenever she has time. Whoever says lying down one is not considered a win, stand up. What? It's me, then it's okay. When she picked up her phone again, both of them had already replied to the message. Vincent. Sure, I'm free. Just call me when you want to take a taxi, and you can call Xiaohai together. Hai Dafu said, no problem, but are you really okay when you start broadcasting today? There are various rhythmic activities outside now. Set the tempo. Upon seeing the news, Su Xia was taken aback and immediately went to take a look. It didn't matter at first glance, as she could easily find her own news online. She casually opened a few articles to read, and almost laughed at her anger. These people are talking nonsense, but there are still so many personal attacks. What's going on? Most importantly, there are too many articles. You can just catch me and pull it up alone, right? As a member of the Yuanzhuan region, Su Xia will not break through her defenses just because of these remarks. On the contrary, it will only increase her popularity. Even if these people curse fiercely, she will not lose a piece of flesh. Perhaps this is why many people choose black and red. After agreeing a time with Vincent and Xiaohai, Suxia calmly went to have lunch. After finishing the meal, Su Xia picked out 5 pieces from the pile of clothes she had drawn. Her task was to live stream wearing the corresponding clothes. Here she wants to praise the system. There is no limit to wearing the original skin when playing as a hero to complete tasks, and even with the hero's skin, it is possible to wear it. Without hesitation, she chose 5 things she liked more. This includes the Jade Sword Legend of Dao Mei, the Jade Sword Legend of Jian Ji, the Guardian of Xia's Star, Gwen's Coffee Sweetheart, and Akali's Ultimate KDA. The first 4 sets were not much, but what she was most worried about was Akali's clothing. It looked good, but she just felt that there was a hint of color in it. There are very few clothes on the upper part of this outfit, and a large belly button and small waist are exposed. The lower part of the body is outlined by leather pants, with slender legs. In the original painting, Akali also put on a charming expression. Who can bear it? The live broadcast room won't be closed, will it? Soon after the agreed time in the afternoon, Su Xia started the live broadcast after switching to Sword Girl's Jade Sword Legend. Before changing clothes, she didn't feel anything, but only after the change did she feel that Dao Mei's skin seemed quite colorful, and her long white legs were also hooked. Due to the continuous fermentation of heat, even if Su Xia hasn't started broadcasting yet, her live broadcast room is still very popular, and a lot of people who have nothing to do are guarding the spot. As the screen lit up, the already lively barrage became even more chaotic. Wanchang Kasha came to see my Kasha elder. Where is my Kasha wife? The knife girl party was ecstatic, and his wife looked at her legs, hissing and hissing. Don't expose your lower body and treat your brothers like outsiders, right? It must be because the lower body is not good. Looking that I dare not show it, unless you show me, I can also do it privately. The wind direction in the live broadcast room suddenly skewed with the opening of the camera, and those who were shouting falsely or not real disappeared without a trace. After seeing how beautiful they were, they wouldn't choose to output against the wind. At least until there is no stone hammer, they still plan to keep a low profile. If they talk recklessly in the live broadcast room, their heads will be sprayed out. At this point, Vincent had already arranged a room, and Xiao Hai was already in the room. After inviting Su Xia into the room, the three of them began to match and play. Matching is easier to win than ranking, and the biggest difference between the two is the uneven rank, but the biggest drawback of matching is also very obvious. On the basis of not being in the fifth row, the matched passers-by teammates are very fond of grabbing positions, and they never look at the lineup, don't care what is missing in the team, and just choose whatever they want to play. Many matches are lost because of this chaotic competition for positions, which has led to many people even practicing heroes preferring to be in the ranks. At least there is not much competition for positions here. When choosing a hero, she didn't hesitate to lock the knife girl. Vincent and Xiao Hai were still the familiar combination of the hammer. Fortunately, the teammates in this game were quite understanding. After seeing Dao Mei locked in, they even typed and asked Dao Mei which path to take. After only a second of contemplation, Su Xia returned to the middle, and then his teammates locked the male gun and the Nua hand respectively. For the current Dao Mei, there is no easy middle lane to hit on the road, and the line on the road is relatively long. Once she is caught by pressing too deep, Dao Mei can only choose to hit back, making it difficult to run. Of course, she missed out on one situation, which is that her current knife sister still cannot do this, and not giving it away is already fortunate.